So what are you up to these days? Just working and studying. The amount of times that I've heard that exact conversation through myself and other young people is absurd. The question on everyone's lips is, what are you doing in your 20s? And many young people ask themselves the same question. What am I supposed to do in my 20s? My name's Oscar Katina and I'm a 20-year-old entrepreneur from Australia. The reason this is such a common question is because these days we have so many options. Grinding, traveling, partying, settling down, letting loose, starting a business, finishing uni. It's hard for someone to make such a big decision to choose between one or two of those things at such a young age. And the answer is different for everyone, which is why I don't think there is a definitive correct answer to the question. However, I do think there is an objective and definitive wrong answer to the question. You should definitely not spend your 20s doing something that other people want you to do. You need to live your life, not someone else's. That much I know. The problem is, most people don't even realise when they're living someone else's life instead of their own. They think their choices are their own, but when you trace them back, they usually come from social media, their parents, or their friend group. For example, a lot of people think that they want to start a business because it sounds cool. Freedom, money, status. Deep down, they might crave stability, structure, and contribution instead. And that's completely fine. The problem is when someone ignores their inner voice because they feel pressure from exterior sources to chase what looks successful to other people. Living your own life means questioning where your desires are coming from. There are plenty of get-rich-quick methods flaunted on social media today, like day trading, drop shipping, and more. It's tempting to see influencers flexing wealth because of these methods and then deciding to step into that space as well. Before you make any big decisions like that though, you need to ask yourself if you actually want it or if you just like the idea of being seen wanting it. To me, it always comes back to the same thing, knowing yourself. That's when you can find the right answer, which is your answer. If you didn't travel a lot when you were young, then you might be really excited to use your 20s as an opportunity while you're young to go and travel the world, gaining real world experience through your travels and ultimately shifting your perspective on the world. For someone who traveled lots when they were younger, this might not appeal to them as much, and they might say that it's the wrong way of living your 20s. But for you, it feels right and it aligns with your vision, so objectively, it's the right answer to the question. Someone who grew up in a lower socioeconomic family when they were young might decide that the best way of spending their 20s is to build financial stability and a financial foundation because they didn't have that when they were growing up. Someone with financial stability growing up might say that working hard or working very hard in your 20s isn't the right way to do it. But again, it makes sense to you, so objectively it's the right answer. At the end of the day, you're going to have dreams, a vision, and long-term goals. And the best way to spend your 20s is to acknowledge and identify that and then go out and chase them. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Another point worth considering is that your 20s is 10 whole years of your life, which is a pretty long time. You can split your 20s into stages if you like, because I promise you the person you are at 20 is going to be vastly different from the person you are at 25 and then 30. Because we go through phases. We rapidly change in this time period because after being in high school and primary school for so long, we've finally been unleashed into the real world where we're confronted with real world experiences. We learn from these real experiences and passions begin to form. You'll find a passion at 19 and then you'll outgrow it by 22. The passion that you replace it with at 22 will be something that you'll likely grow out of by 26. This is growth. And it's not a bad thing. It's a sign of maturity and learning more about yourself. So maybe you'd like to spend a couple of years traveling and then knuckle down on your career at 22 or 23, for example. Or maybe you'd rather make some money early, get a financial base underneath you and buy a house before you go out and see the real world. There's no right time to do anything. It's only when you're ready and everything's aligned with your vision and your goals. Don't lock yourself into anything either. If you're in your 20s and you're watching this video, think of this period of your life as a testing ground. You've got full license to try things like jobs, traveling, relationships, and projects. All of these experiences will give you data about yourself, what you like, what you don't like, what you're good at, what you're not so good at, which will ultimately give you clarity, which, as we've already discoursed many times, is of paramount importance when building your life. Don't focus on figuring things out by a certain age, just focus on making decisions with conviction and intention. Don't say, I'm traveling to Morocco because I want a holiday. Say I'm traveling to Morocco because I want to broaden my worldview. If your decisions are ultimately aligned with your worldview and who you are, then you're on the right track. Personally, I'm pretty ambitious and I have plans for how I want my life to be in 20 years or so. The fact of the matter is I'm going to need to work pretty hard and pretty smart for a long time. And I think my 20s is the perfect time period for me to start because I've got energy, time, and limited responsibilities outside of my business. This is what I considered when I was thinking of starting my business, and it made sense to go pedal to the metal at a young age. Not everyone's like this though, which is why I try not to force it onto other people. The point is, only you can correctly answer the question, how should I spend my 20s? Because your answer is the only one that really matters. So what are some actionable steps that you can take from this video? Step number one, which I feel like I repeat in every video I make, is to know yourself. The reason I repeat this step so often is because to me it's easily the most important step. It's the number one most important step. And I think it's the only way to live a fulfilled life. Without knowing yourself, the goalposts keep moving, you'll float around doing nothing fulfilling and you'll be miserable. Don't follow what the crowd does, follow what you want. If you want to travel to Vietnam, for example, because you're fascinated by the culture, don't go to Europe because everyone else is going to Europe. Go to Vietnam. If you're into jazz bars, but all your friends are into raves, don't go to the rave, which you know you don't like. Go to the jazz bar. When you take the time to know yourself, you become acutely aware of what you like and what you don't like. And that helps you filter your choices so that it aligns with who you are, which I spoke about in my most recent video about how every decision costs something and it's not always money. Action step number two is to simply go pedal to the metal. In our 20s, we're blessed with youth and hopefully health as well. So once you've done a bit of self-reflection and you think you know what you want to do, send it and don't look back. We're also blessed with time. We can fail over and over and over again, lose businesses, lose time, lose money, and we can still recover. You'll gain priceless experience doing it like this. And even if you make some mistakes along the way, which you definitely will, it won't always feel like a hammer blow. They'll start feeling like learning opportunities instead. But you have to go all in. The people who are 1 foot in and 1 foot out, chasing someone else's dream, will float around and feel the opposite. Every mistake will feel like a hammer blow and there'll be no fulfillment whatsoever. And that's what happens when you don't feel committed to something. You feel unfulfilled, so go hard. So maybe there is a definitive answer. How should you spend your 20s? Living your dream and not someone else's. Next time someone asks you what you're up to, you might still say working and studying, but this time you can say it with a little smile, knowing that it's contributing to something great, rather than saying it with uncertainty and a slight frown. The practical answer to the question takes many forms, but the principle behind it, I think, remains the same regardless. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe for more videos about business and mindset, and leave a comment on how you're spending or how you spent your 20s.